Hello and welcome back. So today I wanted to talk about a bit of a different thing, which is, you know, politics. And now that I've said that, my watch time has probably plummeted as badly as the pound did when it was revealed that we were leaving the EU, that being the UK. But I just wanted to make a video about this whole Brexit thing because I'm not going to say which way I voted because I don't think it's necessary, and it just causes so much unnecessary violence and hate and divides and, you know, people and stuff, and I don't particularly want to lose subscribers and followers over which way I did or did not vote. But I just wanted to make a video going from both sides and just how ridiculous the whole thing has become, and hopefully make you laugh in the process because, you know, with all my videos I just try to be as silly and as stupid as I can, and that's what I'll try and do. So obviously, the main thing here is that the UK did vote to leave the EU, but 51.9% to 49 point something percent, I don't, you know, basically 52 to 48%, and everyone's like, oh no, I didn't want this and I voted Remain, but we voted Leave, and, you know, blah blah blah. But I just think it's so ridiculous that people are now saying we should have a second referendum because they're not happy with the result. Now, I appreciate that, obviously, if you voted Leave, then you're happy and stuff, but if you voted Remain, you're going to want a second referendum. I get that, but that's not how democracy works, and there are big celebrities also signing this petition that's going around because they're not happy with the way it happened. But that's the whole point of a democracy, is that everyone comes together, everyone has their chance to vote, presuming you're eligible, and you go to the polling stations, you vote, and that's it, and then the results are declared, and there's a winner, and in this case it was Leave, and, you know, technically it's not legally binding, so technically the government don't have to make us leave the EU, but that would sort of be, as people put it, political or career suicide, because well, if you go against the will of the British people, I imagine it's not going to go down too well. Although I don't know if you voted Remain, then how you'd find that. You might be really happy with it, or you might still be like, well, can I trust the government anymore? So I don't know. And then you've got on the Leave side Nigel Farage. He's just a weird man. If you've never seen a picture of him, just Google him. I'm not being rude here. He's just, I don't know, there's something about him which is a bit odd, but the way he said this is it's something this is a result or a win for honest, decent people. That's unnecessary. You don't need to go into this thing about decent people. Decent people are on both sides of the argument, and everyone has their own opinions, and I think it's so ridiculous to go decent people. It's so stupid, and it's stupid that the Remain side are saying that people that voted Leave are racist and stupid. 17 million people are not all racist and stupid. I imagine there are a lot of people that voted Leave that own a massive business or have degrees. There are some that probably rely on benefits as well, but that doesn't mean they're all stupid or racist. No doubt some of them are stupid and racist, but no doubt some of them that voted Remain are also stupid and racist. So that argument doesn't make sense to me, and personally, I do think if you're 16 to 17, I think that we should have lowered the age. Whether that would have affected the vote in one way or another, I don't know. But obviously that's an argument people are coming up with, which is saying the older generation have ruined the younger generation's future because the older generation aren't going to be around as long. And I get that, I see where you're coming from, but how would it be fair to say, hey, because you're over 65, which I think is what people are saying, you can't have a vote? Come on, it's democracy, and that's the whole point. But most of those people will have been around before we even joined the EU, or it's known as the EEC back then, or something bizarre and different. But then a couple of years after Britain joined, we had a referendum or a vote or something to say, do you want to stay in after there's a few reforms, and majority voted yes. So, you know, back then I presume that the older generation now, which were the younger generation then, obviously felt, hey, this is great, we like it, and now they don't like it, so they want to leave again because they know what it was like before, they know what it was like during, and they want to go back to what it was like before, which will then be after. So I think to say you can't have a vote is a bit weird because, I get the older generation are likely to die quicker, which I'm presuming is what people are the argument is for, but younger people can die just as quickly. They could obviously take their own life, which is really sad, and I hope no one ever does that I know, or just anyone really. You know, suicide is never the answer, but, you know, that is a thing. Or they could just die from terminal illness, they could, you know, be in an accident and stuff, and there's so many ways that, you know, the younger generation's futures aren't necessarily gonna last as long as the older ones. And I'm not wishing death upon anyone, by the way, I just want to point that out, but I hope people can see the point that I'm trying to make here, is that you can't ruin someone else's future because everyone got the vote. If you're over 18, and there's a few other eligibility things, you have to have lived here for a certain period of time, or so, I don't know how it all works, but yeah, if you're eligible and you voted, you know, everyone's vote is equal, and I think people just need to learn to respect what happened. Like, if you don't like it, unfortunately, life is not fair. Like, if you, obviously with a general election, you have 5 years again, you've got another one, or unless like they resign sooner or another one's called, but you have that chance, I guess, to re-elect if you don't like who's in government. But something that not many people have picked up on is if you really didn't want a referendum, because if you were really strongly voting Remain, then if you hadn't voted Conservatives, there would have never been a referendum, because as far as I know, other than UKIP obviously, none of the other parties were offering a referendum or a straight get out thing. So, you know, I'm not going to say who I support politically, I'm not going to say which way I voted. Again, I'm trying to be impartial and just fun and silly in this video, as I said before, and you know, it's just, people just need to stop over-exaggerating, because right now nothing crazy has actually happened. The pound is like back up again and stuff, and well, the Labour Party's sort of screwed, the Prime Minister's resigning. It's all a bit of a mess in that sense, but we're still technically in the EU, and we're not going to be not able to like be in Eurovision. We're still going to be in the Euros. Nothing's going to happen in that sense. Like, just because you leave the EU doesn't mean you can't participate in that. We're still in Europe. We haven't left Europe. We're not like transporting over to like the Americas and stuff. You know, we're still here. I don't know, it's so funny and kind of sad actually to see the things that are going around on Facebook, where I have genuinely seen people saying, if you voted Leave or you voted Remain, like whichever way obviously they supported and then you didn't, like, unfriend me, I don't want to talk to you. Like, what? You're still, that's not like a very good friend if you're saying, oh, just unfriend me because you voted one way. Like, that's insane. So I don't know, the whole thing is crazy. I just wanted to make a video because obviously I'm a creator on YouTube, big or small, it doesn't matter, but I had to voice it, and I've been thinking about this like the past few days. Should I or should I not make a video about this, because it is so controversial, like, because obviously there is split down the middle, pretty much almost 50-50, that some want to stay, some want to leave, and obviously Leave won. But it was just, do I really want to put myself out there and say, I'll just do a video about it? And that's why I'm staying impartial and I'm going from both sides and how I can see both sides and stuff. But overall, like, Britain has left well, I should say Britain has voted to leave the EU. Again, technically not legally binding, though it would be career suicide, and most likely is going to happen once it's like Article 50 is triggered or something. But seriously, don't like lose friends and like ruin families and stuff over where you voted. Like, you know, I just think it's silly, and as the old saying goes, keep calm and carry on. And as we're British, and it's a great stereotype, drink some tea or something. I don't know, I don't drink tea personally, but you know, it's just carry on. Just carry on, because it's what we do. And like, there are some really weird petitions going around now, like, could sort of, I suppose, to take the mick out of the petition that's going around to say we should have a second referendum. Like, I wasn't happy with the result of the Hastings War or something, we should do it, you know. Like, I can see both sides and stuff, and I get that people aren't happy and things like that, but unfortunately democracy is the way it works, and you know, I guess everyone, well, not everyone, but the majority voted for something. If Remain had won, would they be making a petition still to say like, oh, we didn't win by 60%? Because that, I think that's what it is they're saying the turnout was lower than 75% and the majority win wasn't by 60%. But I can almost guarantee that Remain supporters wouldn't be doing that if they had won. So, you know, I don't know if Leave supporters would have done that. I have no idea if they had lost, if they had called for a second referendum. But I think the whole thing is getting blown out of proportion. As I say, we're British, carry on, have fun, make stupid videos like I make that are just completely impartial and just laugh at both sides, really. I think the whole thing is just pretty funny now. And obviously I know it affects people's futures and stuff either way, like Leave or Remain, but again, this is just a bit of a fun video, and I really hope that people realise that. Yeah, I don't really have a question for today, just other than what are you doing this week, I suppose, because politics is crazy and the world is crazy, and let's all just carry on being crazy, because it's the way it's the way things seem to go, because craziness, yeah. Whoop, see you next time.